The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, good morning, kids.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Happy September.
Are you kidding? Labor Day weekend.
It is Labor Day weekend,
Happy
and let me
Labor
tell
Day.
you, which means there's an extra day for us to work.
Yeah, because people are off work, huh?
Well, that's what us realtors do.
I
We
agree.
work when nobody else is working, right?
That's it.
Every day.
That's it.
So can you show us that property tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock on Monday morning?
Because I'm off all day.
Yeah, because I'm off all
Great.
day. Just rub it in.
Yeah, exactly. No, it'll be good times. Good
Yeah,
times. I'm
exactly.
actually looking forward to this weekend being continuously busy. So,
Yeah,
it's good
awesome.
stuff.
You know, I've heard some rumblings that the week after next is Thanksgiving, and a week after that is Christmas.
It feels like
I would
that.
believe it.
Is it
Where
because
did
we're
the
getting
year
older?
go?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. You went right to, yes, we're getting older. Well, those voices here in the studio, as always, it is so good to have my co-host, Michelle Pettis-Cavalli from Valleywide Homes here in the studio with us. Michelle is a licensed realtor and a trusted friend.
Well, thanks, Craig. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
We also are so fortunate to have a dear friend of mine, longtime friend, long-time friend, Rip Hovde from Guarantee Real Estate. Rip is also a licensed real estate professional and our special guest host this morning.
Craig, happy Sunday morning. Thanks for letting me be on your show.
Thanks for getting up so early.
And let me give a plug to Craig. He's actually the first guy I worked for.
Uh-oh.
I love him. So, thank you.
Wow. Oh, that was sweet. You know, Rip and I just met recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At an open house.
Yeah, he came to my hot property.
Yeah.
He came to my hot property, and he says it's a beautiful property.
I heard it on KMJ and I had to run out and see it.
That's
Yeah, there
it.
you
That's
go.
it.
There you go. Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. You know, our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
Back home.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, I'm extremely excited about today's show. We're going to take a look at some of the top stories in the news, and as always, there is no shortage of news to cover. We've also got Rip Hovde from Guarantee Real Estate here in the studio with us. Rip is going to give you some powerful tips on what to expect when you're inspecting. And Rip, who's going to pay for that stuff, right?
You bet.
You bet.
I can't wait.
Yeah. We're also going to share some tips with you to make sure that as a consumer that you don't, quote unquote, get ripped off.
And Rip's here.
Yeah, and nice little play on words. You
I like
realize that, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You don't get.
He's heard it a time or two, I'm
ripped off.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard it. Ripped off
Exactly.
in today's real estate market when you're buying your next home. We're also going to take some more listener questions, and as always, the listener questions continue to get better. Make sure that you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show, please call us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online, and you can listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network on YouTube by going to our website at reofresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords,
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
or use Press 4 keywords
KMJ, call Valleywide.
to call us any time. We'd love to hear from you. Well, quickly about Press 4. Press 4 is the easiest way for you to get information, actually for you to get information from us, whether it's about a hot property, whether it's about our show, whether it's about a topic that we're talking about, or a free giveaway. All I'm going to do is tell you this. Go to your app store or go to the Press 4 website. That's PRESS, the number 4.com. Sign up. It is a free service and will help keep you in the know. It's for all those times that you're away from your computer. Well, in today's hot property feature, Today's hot properties are brought to you by Perfect Home Inspections. Residential, multifamily, commercial. Use press for keywords Perfect Home Inspections. Or call Jerry Schooley today for your perfect home inspection. 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Today's hot property is a HUD home located at 2276 East Trenton Avenue, Fresno, 93720. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,598 square foot home built in 1993. It's located in Clovis Unified School, so really desirable. Major cross streets, Maple and Teague. All this for only $250,000, which is also the appraised value of the property, and the bidding deadline is daily. That property was appraised at $250,000, and you can utilize that FHA appraisal. That appraisal is portable. You can take it to your lender and utilize it for the purpose of securing a loan.
Is it still owner-occupant only, or can
it
we
is still
do investor?
owner-occupant only. First 30 days, owner-occupant only.
Okay.
It is getting closer that you could do investor.
Because I was like, it should be coming down to the wire.
It is getting closer, most
Sorry.
definitely. No,
I'm
it's a good
hoping.
question. After 30 days,
I have
with all
investors, okay?
After 30 days, all HUD properties
Right.
become eligible, if it's insured or insured with escrow, do become eligible for investors or second home.
Right.
Again, if you'd like more information about today's hot property, please give us a call anytime at 800-979-3958 or use press forward keywords
KMJ Hot Properties.
Wow, we've been practicing, huh? We'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, guys, let's take a look at some of the top stories in the news.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some football?
Man, I just got my season tickets for Fresno State football. I'm jazzed.
Baby.
Just picked them up, so I'm ready.
Fantastic. Also, NFL starting September 5th.
Yeah, ready for some football.
Fantastic. That's
on.
this coming Thursday night, I believe. Culminating with the Super Bowl on Sunday, February 3rd in New Orleans. If what?
Well, they're having storms and whatnot down there.
That little storm thing going on down there?
Let's hope everything's back as it should be
There you
by
go.
February 3rd.
Yeah, hopefully
Just
that's the
saying.
case. Well, enjoy, because football season is here and will be over before you know it.
Blink of an
Next
eye.
thing you know, we'll be having a Super Bowl party and sitting.
It's like summer.
Yep, exactly. Let's look at real estate news. 1,279 single-family active listings in Fresno County. Now, active listings, single-family residents, that's 1 to 4. That's single-family, that's 1 unit. Keep in mind that doesn't take into consideration anything that's considered backup, meaning that an offer's been accepted and that you could submit an offer as a backup if you really want to be in that. Michelle, what are you smirking for?
As an agent, it is really frustrating re-educating people daily in regards to backup, because what the MLS tells us backup is, or our Fresno FAR, is not necessarily how those folks out there are utilizing it. It gets a little...
In other words, the interpretation
Yes.
of the market?
Yeah. Can I share? Okay.
Go for it.
I'm showing houses. I'm looking through researching for house showings, and I keep coming across backup, which I know backup generally means the house is sold.
Yeah, short sale.
Short sale. It's sold. However, backup means, and I confirmed it with,
Yes, I
with
know you
FAR.
did.
I confirmed with FAR. Backup means it's pending the short sale approval, but they are accepting backup offers.
I
So
agree.
if you are not accepting backup offers,
Please.
my friends, agents that I love dearly,
Please.
I'll get off the soapbox after I ask you to please put that puppy in pending.
I agree.
Yeah.
Are you in the same?
I agree, 100%.
But because it's confusing to the consumers, and
Yes.
that's what I find to be so discouraging. And I'm constantly saying, well, I'll call and double check. But we're wasting a lot of time doing
Yeah.
that, and you could be offering on those active properties. So let's move those that are not backup to pending. If you are accepting offers, those are pending. Those are still, those are backup. And if you are no longer accepting offers, the status is pending.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Love it.
I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love it.
and please call and confirm with the FAR if you have questions.
Yeah, it also helps to make sure to set the right expectation with your buyer in
Correct.
advance if they do see a status and it does show backup. But then, granted, though, if they're searching on Trulia, it's not going to show backup; it's going to show active.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Please
Yes,
stay
it
away.
does.
Yeah,
exactly.
be very, very careful, my friend. So, 1,279 listings.
Hey, Craig, isn't that kind of low?
Yeah,
We've
Funny
been
you should-
saying that.
Funny you should say that, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Isn't that like really, really, really low?
Yeah, May, 742 closings in Fresno County. That's closed to transactions. 791 in June, 740 in July. So we're trending in the mid to higher 740s. All I'm going to say is when you have roughly 1.6 months worth of inventory active and available right at the moment, again, there's a tremendous amount of upward pressure on prices. There's a tremendous amount of upward pressure on buyers, and Michelle, as you said, and agents.
And agents.
And again, if there's 11 offers, there are 10 losers. So
Yeah.
But I did just watch a clip recently with you, and they're still talking of shadow inventory.
yeah, they were. Yeah. Think big, work small. Frank and Brian this morning, they were talking about shadow inventory. Fannie Mae recently reported that of the 1,000 Fannie Mae...
100,000.
Excuse me. No, was it 100,000?
100,000. 50,000 are shadow, not out yet.
Roughly 50% are shadow, and that's either means they're occupied and they haven't gotten the occupant out of there.
Okay, Craig, so if Fresno has a shadow inventory,
Where's the
and
shadow
we're
at?
closing 700 deals a month roughly, and we're getting 5 to 8 offers on a house,
Yep.
whatever shadow inventory supposedly there is comes out, guess what?
We
It
sell it.
gobbles up by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Probably.
We could sell it. I'm telling you, last January when we had Dan Hawkins here, the president of the Fresno Association of Realtors, a couple weeks ago, Dan said that back in January we had 2,900 active listings on the market, and we were still selling at a great clip.
Yes.
All that, if this is Fannie Mae, if this is Fannie.
Can we have a conversation?
If this is really what you're intending, I think you've accomplished that. And now what you can do is you can open the floodgates just a little bit. Now, I will say this. I did get the question posed to me yesterday, and a good friend, longtime friend, asked the question. So do you think that if there is the shadow inventory that and I can't remember. All of a sudden, I just lost the thought that I was. Anyways, so hello. It's the getting old part.
Yeah, we all don't really buy the
Sunday
shadow
morning.
inventory too much,
Well,
but it'd
yeah.
be interesting to watch
Yeah.
as they announce.
Do you think it would really hurt prices if they dumped?
No, I don't think so at all because
in our market?
we have in our market, our local area right here,
market.
Fresno, California. I think we'd eat it up by Thanksgiving.
Oh, I know what it was. Is that do you think that the current administration? This was the question. Do you think the current administration is doing anything and everything to discourage servicers from releasing REO inventory to the market until after
that's
the
possible.
election?
That's
I said, wow.
That's interesting.
That
I would give that a 50-50.
I'd give it.
yeah.
At least a 50-50.
Let's just
I'd
say
say
we don't put anything past anyone
No,
anymore.
No, I think anyone is capable of anything. Let's transition real quick. So we just talked about real estate. Let's talk about the current political climate. Todd Aiken from Missouri. Everyone and their brother has been calling for him to step down. And his comments, granted recently, Senator Todd Aiken's controversial comments regarding why he thought rape victims would not get pregnant made headlines. If it's, and this is quote unquote, if it's a legitimate rape, the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. Now, Aiken went on television, apologized for that, has refused to step down. Huckabee, was it Glenn Huckabee? He came on and he was on Fox, and he's on Fox quite often, and he made a point recently that I thought was really profound, is that when is it? How many times have we misspoke or said something? And not to say that he believed or did not believe. He came out and said, I misspoke. I screwed up. But he has become a political hot potato, and the Republican Party has done so much to distance themselves. Paul Ryan's saying he ought to step down. Mitt Romney saying he ought to step down. What Huckabee said, Mike Huckabee, what Huckabee said was, it's kind of sad that your political life is ruined with one fatal misstep. Yet, if you were to look deeper into each political candidate's promises and subsequent votes,
Oh, but we don't highlight that in the news.
that would be even more disastrous
Right.
than something like this. Granted, could he have picked a better time? Yes, most definitely. Could he have picked a better topic? Yes, most definitely. It is a topic that stirs a tremendous amount of emotion because it deals with right to life. But I thought Huckabee, what he said was extremely profound. It's troubling that his body of work doesn't stand firmly enough, and that this, hey, I screwed up. I misspoke. I didn't mean that, or I screwed
His
up,
intention.
or I had low blood sugar that day, and I hadn't eaten, and it was a long day, and next thing you know, my synapses are not firing the way they're supposed to be firing, and now you're calling for me to step down? Well, of course, the Democratic challenger in that primary really wants him to stay in the race because she figures he's a slow-moving target.
Wow.
It's just, I just find it very interesting and extremely troubling because it is a sign of the times. Could he have misspoken at a better time? Yeah, 2 years ago would have definitely been better. But, man, it's just, I guess he's got that old scarlet letter.
Well, and I'm going to say the same thing I said as we were walking in the studio. I'm challenging all these politicians to prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what we want to sit around and discuss on the news every day, or do we want to discuss what we're going to do to fix the problems?
Yes, spend less time talking about the number of years of tax returns or how you are going to alienate all the middle class because you did a great job of making money, bottom line is, or how being that you're supposed to be having such an impact on the tax policies of the United States, potentially over the next 4 years, that we want to know what you've done to shelter your income. I'm sorry, but that's
Has he broken a law?
Well, thank you. My point
Evidently
is,
not.
if you did something illegal, then let's talk about it. If you didn't do something illegal, and I know, but Mitt didn't build that.
Well,
right?
and let's.
Who built $4 a gallon gas? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, and isn't there a governing body over taxes? Oh yeah, that'd be the IRS. So if there's a problem, they are the people on call for that.
Yeah.
Not the press, because the press isn't helping that situation.
One question I've got about the Aiken thing.
Yeah.
Is whose problem is it? Is it Aiken's problem or is it the voting public?
And when you say the problem, what do you?
Well, because I think as a registered voter, which I am.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll show you my driver's license if you like.
I just want to know if you have that little dot on it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I am a donor, yes.
Actually, Michelle was asking for your taxes.
And that's
before we came in.
another hot topic for some people.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm more than happy to donate. If you want anything that's left over, help yourself.
We better run that by your wife first.
Yes.
I'm like,
If
I
I'm
don't
gone,
think she's ready to lose you yet.
Yeah, no. Okay, so here's my point. These politicians, regardless of what party, are doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as the voting public, we let them get away with it. Prime example, we were talking about before we came in, the state of California, as far as the pensions unfunded liability. I mean, hello. Has anybody even looked at that number?
Right.
Okay, remember how did they get these pensions? We voted for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not here so much in the Central Valley, but the state of California keeps voting in. Well, the bank's empty. It's upside down. $190 billion of unfunded liabilities for the pensions. How is that going to get paid?
That's a problem.
Well, and I think my comment was, I love dogs.
Yeah.
But are dog tags the issue? Recently I saw a mention of A, B, whatever in regards to hunting dogs. Okay, is that really what we want to be up there fighting about right now? Or do we want to fight for some responsible behavior?
Right.
By all.
So anyways, my point is just go back to, let's just take it back, personal responsibility. We voted this stuff in. It's going to, us as a voting public, to be informed.
Yes.
And please vote most of these knuckleheads out. For example, Todd Aiken, he misspoke.
Yes.
Okay.
Does that make him a bad person?
No, I don't know.
Does it make him a bad politician?
Well, no, because he just misspoke. Now, if every politician that misspoke would resign, we'd be in good shape.
I like that.
The halls of Congress would be quite empty.
Yeah, what happened with George Washington and that cherry tree anyway? He would have been out of there. We wouldn't have kept him around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Setting the precedence. No shortage of news, is there? No. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show or a comment, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I love the political comments.
Yes.
Please do share.
Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online at reofresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keyword.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, you've heard Rip Hovde from Guarantee Financial Real Estate here in the studio with us. Rip is going to share some powerful tips on what to expect when you're expecting and who's going to pay for those inspections. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate on 105.9 the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we told you we've got Rip Hovde from Guarantee Real Estate here in the studio with us to help us identify, Rip, what to expect when you're inspecting. And when we're talking about inspections, what are the inspections that I need to be prepared to complete when I'm getting into contract? And how do I protect myself as a consumer?
Okay, well, that's great questions, Craig. There's a lot of answers for those. But first of all, let's go. I deal with a lot of buyers right now. In inspection period, let's just talk about buyers for a brief moment here. Let's say we have a first-time home buyer, typically going to be an FHA home buyer.
Especially in today's market.
Yeah,
yep.
95% of my people are FHA buyers. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go look at the property. I'm going to do a visual inspection as well while I'm showing them the property, and I'm going to keep my eyes open for any issues I might see. Though, granted, I am not an appraiser. I'm not a certified home inspector, any of that stuff. I'm just, from my years of experience, going to give you my tips and what I see. First
your
of all,
job's to protect the buyer.
And my job is absolutely to protect the buyer.
on what inspections they should be getting.
Exactly right. So we get into a contract, and in today's market, it's very, very competitive. Mm-hmm. So we need to write that offer like you want it. Mm-hmm. If you want the house, you got to tell me you love this house, Rip. I don't want to lose this house. What do I got to do to get this house? Okay. Let's look at the house. I don't see any major items, so the first thing we would address is a pest inspection. Mm-hmm. The pest inspection runs about $75. What that covers is termite, subterranean termites, dry rot, and fungus. Mm-hmm. Now, I have a motto here in Fresno. There's only two types of houses, ones that have termites and ones that are going to get termites, okay? That's just the way it is. All right?
I like it.
The way it is.
True.
Now, here's what I'm going to give you my, I'm giving you one of my tips, okay? You go into the garage, and you look for a tag by the door, and it's a pest tag. That's going to tell you when the last time that house had been inspected.
Right.
It's going to have a date on there and a company. So I make a general note of that. I go back and I will call that pest company and say, hey, what was the issues on this house? And it looks nothing. Oh, cool. And I just tell the buyer, don't worry about it. We can order a pest inspection outside of the contract, especially to go back a little bit. If it's a short sale, the banks aren't paying for anything.
Correct.
Okay. No pest, no home warranty, no repairs.
No,
so
nada.
just FYI, if you're buying a house that's a short sale, don't ask.
Well, and I think it's important also that you made mention you're not writing it on the contract.
No.
Because it is for your buyer. It is
Correct.
not for the seller. And it isn't something that you necessarily have to have the bank going through and filtering through prior to funding. And I think that's important because there might be $100 worth of work that needs to be done. Do we really want the bank to stop everything because of it?
And that's why what Rip was saying earlier, my interpretation was when you're saying, my client tells me, I really want this property,
Yes.
Rip. How do I effectively and efficiently write that offer?
Yep.
Not everything, not every inspection ends up on the contract.
Correct.
You as a buyer have the ability to be able to complete every inspection under the sun that you so choose.
At your expense.
At your expense.
Yes.
But writing the offer as clean as possible means that if I want a termite, I'm going to pay for it. I'm not going to write it on the contract, nor do I want the lender to ultimately see that, because I don't want there to be any potential repercussions as to them saying, we want to see the report, and subsequently we're going to require all Section 1 work to be completed.
Well, also, if we do the termite inspection and it's part of the contract, then a licensed contractor needs to do the work. So if you do it outside of the contract, you can have a handyman do anything other than chemical treatment.
That's a very good point, Rep.
So let's say
really good point.
we can save the buyers right there about half just by using a handyman, because most of the stuff is pretty simple. I mean, I almost can do it. Almost.
Well, and some of it's very minor, like they might need a wood trim piece,
Yes.
a piece
Or a
replaced.
fascia board replaced
exactly.
or something like that. Sure.
Yeah, okay, so we've done our termite.
Okay, second thing, I come in and I want to keep it going because the pest is real inexpensive, $75, not a big deal. The next one that's very important, and I recommend every one of my buyers, regardless what they are, is a home inspection. And you want a professional home inspection. You want someone that's licensed, certified to do the home. They typically run from $250 to $350. They are worth their weight in gold. Now, I tell my buyers, especially if it's a short sale, look at this home inspection is not a fix-it list for the seller or the bank, because the bank's not going to do it. This is basically your honey-do list for when you get your house.
Right.
The items that need to be addressed right away. If it's health and safety, we go back to the bank or to the seller and say, this needs to be addressed.
Right.
And that we can get done 9 times out of 10. But other than that, it's
If it's
just
gingerbread.
honey-do list
It's
for
honey-do,
Papa
yeah.
to get done on the weekends. And make sure that Mama's safe in the home. There's not going to be any small electrical issues
Right.
or things like that. Just so we
Right.
know that. The other thing I'm seeing, Craig, I don't know if you've noticed this, is faulty grade in Fresno.
Yep.
Wow. That's something that you really need to look at, because if you're outside the house and you see the grade going towards the inside the house, you can have water, and that's going to typically cause you a couple issues. But that's just a couple of things that I've noticed here. So after the home inspection, let's say we're getting a county property, you always want to do a well. The other tip I've got on the well inspection is when you're out there with your iPhone, take a picture, or your smartphone,
Yep.
Droid,
Yep.
take a picture of the stamp that's on the well
pump.
tank. Yep. And that's going to tell you who's working it and who's fixing it. Call them and ask them the questions before you order that inspection, because that inspection is about $500.
Really good point, because you can get a lot of information. Depth of the well, number of horsepower as far as the pump's concerned, production, number of gallons per minute. So critical. Like, as an example, you go out Madera Ranchos, Bradley and Sons from Madera. My gosh, I think it's probably easier to identify which wells they didn't drop than which wells they did, because more times than not, they're the ones that come out and do that. So if you've got a concern that your well isn't deep enough, they'll tell you, oh, we dropped that one X number of feet.
Yep. And production, last time they were there, how many times they've been there, when the well pump was replaced, yada, yada, yada. Also, don't forget you can get a home warranty on your property that covers a lot of this stuff. I strongly recommend doing that as well. Property line survey, those get a little expensive, you guys. I always have the seller show the buyer the corners to their best ability. If they have any questions, comments, or concern, if I see a red flag in their eyes, I tell them to get pay for the surveyor. I believe it runs about $300 a corner, so that one's a little bit up there. Roof. Now, this is another tip I give you, Craig, is when I go into the home, into the garage, I look for that pest tag. I look at the roof in the garage, because 9 times out of 10, it's not finished. Okay, I look and see, is it shake? Can you see the new sheeting? Because I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm not sure you do, but the folks out there listening, the sheeting has a date. And you can tell when that roof was put on. So 9 times out of 10, I'm looking, okay, hey, look at that roof. It's only in 2003. Don't even worry about it. Now, if you want a roof inspection, the home inspector is going to go on it. If he sees an issue, he's going to recommend us getting a roof inspector, which is about $175 plus.
Right.
And then if you put in your contract, they're going to want a 2-year roof cert. Now you could be talking $350 to $1,000, and it could mess up your loan.
But if you're in the garage and you see the beautiful sunshine coming through,
You have a problem.
let that be a telltale sign.
Unless you're paying cash.
Right.
The other thing I've noticed, I don't know if I'm sure you guys have seen this as well. I keep saying that. I'm sorry. People putting composition roofs over shake.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I have not seen that.
Yes. Now, here's a trick also. I don't know if you've seen this, but sometimes if the roof is covered in the garage, you can't tell what's underneath.
Right.
Real quick, go out to the eaves on the fascia, and sometimes you can see the shake just a little bit exposed comp over it.
I have to say I haven't seen that, and I bet you that's pretty interesting looking when you see the ripples.
Ripples,
no pun intended. Ripples in the.
Nice.
I'm thinking, and I'm just guessing,
That's
it's got to be a
scandalous.
hazard.
Well,
Because of fire hazard.
Well, it is. That's why they're getting rid of shake, but it's still permitted. It was a legal
is
rule.
permitted.
I mean,
It's
it's the way they did it.
Wow.
Now they're going to make you rip off. Now, the major expense when I'm looking at my folks is that roof. If it's a shake roof, it's going to be expensive because you got to rip off everything, put sheeting on it, paper, and shingles. So that's going to get you. That's why I always look out there. Appraisal, you got to have appraisal unless you're paying cash. Lead-based paint, that's any house that's 78 or older. You got to have it. Mold is a big issue, a big issue.
Seems to be a hot topic.
It is.
Houses that sweat get moldy.
Yep. And in the newer homes, if they're built real tight, which they are, you got issues.
Yep.
So got to be careful with that. I'm not a mold inspector, so if you have a concern about that, make sure you get a certified person to do it. I was always told 3 parts bleach, 1 part water.
Yeah, that'll typically take care of it.
But, if it's a question and you guys have every reason to understand that or comment about it, then get it inspected. That's what I would tell everybody.
Because a moldy house can make you sick. I mean,
Yes.
everybody's watched 2020 or Dateline and seen those stories of military housing where, all the mamas get sick. And that's a bad thing.
It's not good. I've been in houses where I've actually gotten sick coming out for a couple of days when it's been you've seen in the older homes, the foreclosures that were just. I've been in one. It was a 2-story. It flooded. And it had the mold growing on it.
Up the side of the wall.
Bad.
Yeah.
It was
I saw one like that in Clovis. It was a single story. It had totally, completely flooded. And there was mold up about 10 inches all the way around where the water had, and it had been sitting for a while, and it was closed up. And so it was a perfect environment for it to grow.
Sure.
Now, Rip, just to clarify, any inspection, there is no inspection that's quote-unquote off limits. Whether it makes sense or not to actually complete the inspection is up to your interpretation, your agent's recommendations. Who can pay for any of these inspections, and does it change depending upon the dynamics of the market?
It will change. I will tell you this. It's becoming a seller's market rapidly, which I think has already been a seller's market.
Yeah, I agree.
And if the seller's smart, if you're listening, don't pay anything because you don't have to. So everything is negotiable in a real estate contract. The buyer typically pays for all inspections. We have a form that you fill out and say, listen, you are free to get any inspection you want to get done at your expense. Now, this is what I also tell my people. It's like buying a used car. I buy a used car. I'm going to take it to my mechanic. I'm going to have to check it out. I'm going to give him $75.
Right.
If I don't like that car, I still got to pay the $75. I give the car back to the seller.
Correct.
I'm done. That's just food for thought. It's just you want your buyers to be as careful as possible, as knowledgeable as possible. We want them to be happy in their new home and stay there as long as they want to stay. And
I always say it's informed consent because you're informed and able to give your consent that I want to proceed with a transaction.
Correct.
And they will.
Correct.
They'll sign off. We even have days in the contract, Craig, from anywhere from 5 to 10 to 17 days that all this has to be done. Typically, if it's a HUD home, a REO home, they only give us 10 days to get those home inspections done, be it termite, pest, home inspection, roof, whatever. We have 10 days to get it done. Traditional, we have 17 days. So once the contract is signed and ratified by both sides, we got to get moving.
The clock starts ticking.
Yes.
Right.
Fantastic. Important to get a home inspection. Important to get all your inspections taken care of within that
In
time
a timely
frame.
manner, because if you drag your feet and you wait, it could cost you your deposit.
Exactly. Well, again, great job, Rep. If you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we cover or that Rip just covered on our show, call us anytime, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website, tremendous resources, Fresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords,
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into us anytime, guys. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, we are going to take or give you some tips to make sure that you don't get ripped off, or no pun intended, Rip. Sorry, again, we keep talking about getting ripped off. We've got you here in the studio. Getting ripped off or taking advantage of when you buy your next home. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valleywide Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valleywide Homes to work for you. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
We were talking about before the break how to make sure that you as a consumer that you don't get ripped off in today's market. And let me tell you where this all stemmed from.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
And I actually told my client last night, I just want you to know I'm going to talk about you on the radio tomorrow. So
did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
He said, really? I said, don't worry. I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm going to. You motivated us.
But Joe, I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
And you know who you are.
You know who you are.
My client, I met a client for the first time last weekend, showing a piece of property, and showed him the property, answered questions. You could tell that they were informed. You could tell that they were experienced in the process. They had a lot of experience, unfortunately, getting a lot of offers turned down. I think they had mentioned they had written a significant number of offers. And the husband asked, how do I know that this was kind of the gist of the question. How do I know that you're not going to take advantage of me? And I thought, wow. So number one, I felt fortunate they asked the question. Number two, anytime that we get an opportunity as professionals to really get better at what we do, I call it, and Michelle, I've told you this before, it's at-bats. The more at-bats I get, baby, I bring them. I love it because it really does help me to get better. So I'm driving on the way home, and I'm thinking, I had to think, so I had to think like a crook, think like a criminal. It was a little hard to do. So how do you protect a consumer or equip the consumer with the tools necessary in order to ensure that they don't get taken advantage of? And let's talk about what are some of the most common ways. Well, first of all, it's money.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Money's a big one. Mm-hmm. If anyone is asking for money in a transaction up front, in cash.
Whoa, run.
Okay, bad.
Correct.
Farm animals or produce, not so bad. But
that's personal property.
That's personal. Yeah, okay, that's true.
But let's talk about inspections, for instance.
Okay.
Buyer pays for a lot of their own inspections. We've already made that clear. And in this market, they are paying for their own inspections.
Correct.
Those monies go directly to
the inspector.
From the buyer.
Yep.
From
Never
the buyer.
as a
The
consumer.
buyer is paying for that report.
Correct. Never as a consumer make a check payable to a realtor.
No.
Pure and simple.
You make it to the home inspection company, if it's pest inspection or home inspector or whatever the name of that company is. With me personally, I always give the client a sheet of paper with 3 or 4 different names on it, and with their phone number, and I ask them to call and make the appointment. If you'd like me to do it, I will do it for you, but you need to pick. and we'll go over it, and
There you go.
I have them sign a piece of paper as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, quick story real quick. A number of years ago, I had a local, someone locally that I knew of in the mortgage industry. And someone came to me in another authoritative position. In other words, they were a manager from another mortgage company and said, hey, this particular individual, this is what they are doing. What they do is they go to their clients and they say, give me $3,000 and I'll get you approved. Well, for crying out loud, back in 2004, 5, and 6, if you had a pulse and a decent credit score and decent credit depth, you could get anybody, big fog of mirror, you could get anybody doggone approved. Well, unfortunately, there's certain groups or certain ethnic groups that it's more pervasive in, or you just find that it happens a whole lot more. It's a lot more common,
prevalent,
because they're preying on their own. It drives me up the ever-loving wall. So, needless to say, whether it's applying for a mortgage, whether it is securing the services of a licensed realtor to find you a home, you never pay anyone any monies up front for those services.
Craig, also a great point at being a licensed real estate agent, we're supposed to have our license number on every first point of contact material. So I have my DRE license number on my business card. Any reputable real estate agent in the sound of my voice is going to have their DRE number on their business card. If they don't, look them up on the website in California, Department of Real Estate. You'll see
dre.ca.gov.
There you go. I knew you knew it.
Yep. And all you have to do is type in their last name, type in their first name, and you'll be able to search whether this particular individual is licensed. And to say that, you're right, because there are some folks that would represent themselves as a licensed realtor, and they are not.
And also to be a reputable realtor, we have to pay fees to FAR, Fresno Association of Realtors, MLS, so we can do our work. And the main thing is the lockbox key. I'm not going to say too much on the lockbox key, but if your agent can't get you into a house, you might want to find a different agent.
In other words, do they have do they possess all the tools in order to get you in?
Or they may not be up to date. They may have some issues or what have you. So.
Right.
Well, what are some other checking points, Craig, for agents?
First of all, as far as you can check the Better Business Bureau, most definitely. Put a call out to your local Better Business Bureau. Whether it's the company or the agent that works for the company, you'd be able to find out some information with regards to that particular entity or the individual. Use an agent if by chance someone that comes highly recommended from friends or family, someone that has a pre-existing relationship, someone that you might know because of the public profile that they have within the actual neighborhood or within the industry. It doesn't mean that somebody, and I have to say this, it doesn't mean that someone that your family knows you may not feel taken advantage of. But one of the questions that you asked and when we were prepping for the show is, I'm talking to you.
You're talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
I asked
one of the questions that you did. You asked lots of questions, trust me. So what does it mean to, quote unquote, get ripped off?
Well, because I think it is so subject to interpretation.
It's
what does
subjective.
that mean to that person? And I think at the end of the day, it's making sure you have a clear understanding of what that client's expectation is and what they believe that to be, because your job is to build trust with them and make sure that you can assure them that isn't who you are, character.
You want to sell, obviously, or make sure that you address their concerns, their needs, their needs, wants, and desires, or what have you. Because I will say this. Is if the question is asked and they say, man, that particular agent or mortgage person really took advantage of me or ripped me off or what have you. Well, why was that? Well, it took too long to close escrow. Well, if you're impatient, I'm sorry, that's not getting ripped off. That's
facing this market in some cases.
That could potentially be a feature of the market, most definitely. Turn times, whether you're looking at approval of a short sale. I just it took me, I was representing a buyer on a short sale, and it took, it was 95 days from submission of the short sale package to formal approval. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I've had them in 7 days. I've had them in 95 days. That was the longest one. Just so happened it was a personal friend. So unfortunately, hey, we just have to sit back and we just have to ride the wave, ask questions, and be patient.
Well, and I think it's really, really important that you meet your agent ahead of time before going to see houses. I think you need to sit down and you need to build a relationship of trust. And if there's anything you're uncomfortable with, you need to find another agent.
You know, your gut is a real
Number one.
Yeah, it's a real great barometer. And if you do feel, in other words, feel like that whenever you initiate a relationship and you go and sit down with that agent, that there is, quote unquote, always an escape hatch or an escape clause. Because if you sit down and you say, hey, I'm just wanting to get together and have a conversation and have you answer questions and get me feeling comfortable. If for whatever reason, and I always tell my clients, I don't want you, because this is how I don't, because if I'm the consumer, I don't want to feel like I've got 2 feet squarely in the center of my back, pushing me down the road and feeling like I'm rushed. If I don't get it, I'm not going to get it. And if you're not willing to take the time for me to get it, then you're not my agent.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, what I see is the home sells itself anyways. They either love the house or they don't. Especially right now, it's either yes or no.
Yep.
And the other thing, we have contractual fiduciary responsibility.
Touch on that real quick. Yeah. Actually, say that 3 times real quick.
No, I can't. But we have a responsibility to our buyers and sellers to represent them in our utmost professional. We're supposed to know all the rules, guidelines, details. I tell my folks, look, we have a 10-day inspection period. You hired me to watch this and keep track of it for you, but I'm also going to ask you to, keep track of me as well.
Yeah.
And just to watch over each other and make sure if I have an issue and I don't take care of you, here's my manager's phone number.
Right.
Feel free to call him, Monday through Friday.
Helps to keep us accountable and helps to give a certain degree of a certain level of trust and comfort with that consumer that, wow, if he's willing to give me his manager's phone number, he must really be on top of it.
Well, Craig, the other thing to look at it is, okay, I can be a typical salesperson and close the deal.
Yeah.
And that would be at one sale, one and done.
One
and done, as we used to call it. But you know what? I'm here to take care of them on this transaction, the next transaction, their family, their kids, maybe even I want to be around long enough to take care of the grandkids. And if I don't take care of them right the first time, they're not coming back.
Yeah, totally.
Amen.
Totally.
So-
And I think corralling the inspectors and all of the items.
Who's on your team, Michelle?
Exactly.
Who's on your
That's
team?
your
Well,
job for them. And so helping them to watch those folks and make sure everybody's doing good work is our job too. So
I always say also, my wife has my back. I've got a beautiful, blessed wife, got my back. So same thing is I have people
she's not
that have
giving me
my
your
back.
kidney anytime
Not
soon?
yet.
No. Okay. All right, well, let's just slide this time.
Wow. That's interesting. Well, one of the things real quick that I wanted to also bring up as far as how do you protect yourself, always make sure that you, like if you're paying for an appraisal, that's either going to be a credit card that's going to be, you're going to be able to see or get a receipt for it went to this appraisal management company. All earnest money deposits go directly to escrow unless they're going into the real estate company's trust account. It's extremely important also that every transaction go through escrow. I can't stress that enough because somebody that's trying to sell you something has to have the ability or possess equitable title to be able to transfer that to you. And if they don't, you need to know about it.
Hey, Craig, the other thing on that earnest money deposit for the check, make sure it's not the realtor's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Let's make sure
good
it's the
point.
title company or the
Really,
company's
really
name.
good
Guarantee
point.
Real Estate, Chicago Title, what have you, Valley White Home Loans,
Right.
Valley White.
Bottom line is we want to make sure that we develop trust and rapport to the point that you're going to be coming back at some point. If you're going to do this 2 or 3 times in a lifetime, we not only want the opportunity to be able to serve you, but we also want the opportunity to be able to serve your friends and your family.
Yes.
Most definitely. Well, again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or questions regarding the information that we've shared with you on our show, call us anytime, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. Check out our resources online. Go to our website, REO-FresnoHomes.com. Befriend us on Facebook. Use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or to call us. Use press 4 keywords
KMJ, call Valley White.
to get connected to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, we're going to take some listener questions, and they're really good questions, trust me. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Thinking about buying a home? Find out how the HUD Home Store can help you. Visit HUDHomestore.com. Look at HUD homes available for sale near you or nationwide. Why HUD Home Store? HUD will pay up to 3% of the buyer's closing cost. The price of the home is based on an FHA as-is appraisal, which is already completed, saving you an average of $400. And there is an owner-occupant priority bidding period during the first 30 days. Want to know more? Visit HUDHomestore.com.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar. How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we told you we were going to take some listener questions, and as always, listener questions continue to get better. Jeff from Fresno asks, my wife and I want to buy our first investment property. Guys, is now a good time to buy? And what should we look for when buying our first investment property? Any takers?
I would have bought 6 months ago.
Preferably last year.
Yeah,
Up to 6. I mean, it's okay, Jeff, it's time to buy.
It's time to buy.
Anybody that hears our voice in Fresno, it's time to buy.
You got that right. But what's important, Rip, what do you think is the most important thing for Jeff and his wife to know?
Yeah, first of all, he's got to have, 20% down?
Minimum 20% down.
They better have good credit, or the bank's just going to chew them up.
Yep.
It'll be a waste of their time.
Yep.
First of all, Jeff, we want you to go to your mortgage broker or bank and get pre-approved.
So important. Shop with confidence.
Please.
You can't shop with confidence if you don't know.
And in this market right now, anybody, whatever you're doing, get pre-approved first before you go looking for a house. Let's put in the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. And I think the next thing is not only are you looking to get your return on investment now, but your return on investment down the road, too, when you go to sell that. Are you going to be a slumlord or are you going to be a landlord? I mean, there's a difference.
Have you guys noticed the rents in Fresno? It seems like they're almost anywhere you go, it's $1,100 a month. Yeah. Almost anywhere.
I think that's the common answer. It used to be $20, now it's $1,100.
Yeah, it's $1,100 everywhere you go.
So I think it's important that people look where they're buying. I mean, let's look at long-term hold for investment properties. Being an investor, I mean, unless you're planning to buy that house, redo the house, and sell the house, it's a long-term hold.
Well, yeah, exactly. Whether
it's
your
market.
A fix it and flip, or whether it is a long-term hold, it's so important. This market itself, in and of itself, is not for the weak at heart or someone with a very mild constitution.
No.
It is work. Finding the property, number one, because you're competing with a lot of owner-occupants.
Yes.
And whether it's a HUD home, a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac first look, whatever it is,
you're out.
You don't get the opportunity to get the same first look like those owner-occupants do. So you've got to wait it out. I said to another investor the other day, he was working with another realtor, and he says, what's my agent doing wrong? I said, your agent's not doing anything wrong, buddy. In today's market, where are you? Let's ask all these questions. Where are you looking? What's your expectations? Well, come to find out, he was just impatient. Yep. And that's all it was. You have to be patient in today's market if you're looking to purchase an investment property.
See, the other thing I would tell Jeff, Craig, is I use the 1% rule. If he wants to get $1,100 a month, he shouldn't buy anything over $110,000 house.
There you go.
That's my one tip.
There you go.
And location,
Perfect.
location.
Yep.
You got that
For
right.
long term, it's
So resell
still
3 bedrooms, 2
important.
baths.
And the more cash you've got, the better. there. Most definitely. Well, again, if you can call us anytime. If you do have questions for us, call us at 800-979-3958 or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ comment line.
And let us know what your questions are. We'd love to help. If you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, call us, 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website. Craig can help you with, Michelle can help you with, Rip can help you with. Go to REO, FresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
To call us.
KMJ, call Valley White.
There you go, to get connected to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. A big thank you to Rip Hovde. Rip,
thank you.
Guarantee Real Estate. Thanks so much for being here, buddy. Would you come back?
Anytime. 559-790-2370. Smile and dial Rip.
Oh, boy.
That was fast.
And don't get ripped off, huh?
No, that's a nickname. But someday, if you ask me back, I'll tell you what my real name is.
Oh, there you go. Well, hey,
like
that's a little foreshadowing. A little tease.
Yeah.
Also, thanks to Michelle Pettiscavalli, my special co-host. We love having you here, Michelle.
Thanks.
Big thank you to Johnny B behind the mics. You do a great job, buddy. Thanks so much for making us sound good. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday, right here at 7 a.m.
Same time.
On
Happy
105,
Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Yeah.
On 105.9, the FM KMJ. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.